Hey everybody, how's it going? We've got another RLCS roster date for you guys this weekend. Crazy weekend of like tournaments between Flip and Spin, which we'll talk about some first iterations there and some of the results, as well as just some new announcements coming out from Shift on the rumor side of things. One who most people don't really know about, but has gotten some opportunities in the name of Frosty. So with that said, let's jump over to the other screen and crush through these. First and foremost, we're going to start with Europe and then get into North America. The big one is, you guys can see on the screen, Farah, the new coach of Carmine Corp. He talked about how after winning with Vitality, he was going to be more ambitious and kind of go that next route, his next chapter in his career. And let's call it what it is. K Corp is doing some incredible things, between working with the government locally in France to rent out a venue and provide a live environment, and getting into the LEC and all the other activations that they're doing. K Corp is a pretty good organization as a person to be associated with, especially if you're trying to grow and kind of take that next step in the career. So I think for Farah, the easy answer was to stick with the World Championship team, but the difficulty, I think, is the pressures that come with it, is that if you don't win Worlds again, you have regressed. And I think he is happier to join a new project that he has more of a say in and potentially build there. But some people may view that as a scapegoat. I personally think Farah is just doing what's best for his career, which is very intelligent. And associating with K Corp and stuff like that is something I thought someone like K-Dop would do a long time ago. So I'm curious on what Solar is paying that boy, because for him to stick with it is pretty surprising for me. Either way, K Corp with Farah at the helm. He's going to be building something around Vatira. The rumors right now, as we all know, are Rise and a Tau. Rise is looking very, very likely, but for a Tau, I think there might be some contract stuff. We talked about this in our previous video. Further emphasis on that is in the Flip and Spin tournament. If you guys aren't aware, Flip and Spin is a open qualifier tournament. They just went through the playoffs, which we'll talk about here in a second. And they actually ended up using Nolly as a temporary. Nolly, this is not an official sign up. They talked about, hey, we announced Farah. Now we have a tournament to play this weekend. And the lineup was Vatira, Rise, with there was no like hesitation or no like sidestepping to. It was just straight up, hey, we're playing with Rise, and then Nolly. Nolly is back in town. I think he's visiting family and stuff as well, and just happened to be available for this. From what I've heard from him, like, he's not coming back home until after the event, which is like November 6th or something. Crazy to think that we're almost already in, like, Halloween's tomorrow. It's wild. So Nolly is a temporary stand-in. Two things for this: it may turn some heads, and the other thing, selfishly, as someone who really likes Nolly, the ability for him to increase his own individual merit. This isn't the first time this has happened where he went and played in a tournament as a sub, and then his stock went up and everybody's like, holy cow, we need to team with this guy. I assume hopefully more the same for Nolly, because I do like the guy, that he gets a bunch of opportunities when he comes back to NA for scrims, tryouts, and stuff, and gets to slot into a really top tier roster. I think there's some really talented free agents out there, whether it be him, J-Naps, Justin, Frosty, who we'll talk about in a bit. There's a lot of really good talent up for grabs. Maybe he goes to that M80 roster. Like, I'm very interested to see on what he ends up doing. Alongside that, obviously, we talked about Oski in our last video. Don't forget that we also have Oxygen putting on a $10,000 tournament. So there is more coming for the off-season events. These are important because they give us a kind of a first-hand look at some of the results of what is going on with the iterations of these rosters. And with this one being mid-late December, I'm pretty sure. I think it got pushed back. I don't think this is the official date. I do think it is later on. I would have to double check the posting, but I do know that I think it's the second week of December, potentially, maybe the third. But these are important because they give us our first looks. And if it's in December with the season, assuming it's going to start January, like mid-January, it's kind of our last iteration, our last look. So pretty important there. Alongside that, BDS does announce their official roster. This is locked in and confirmed. Moving on from Rise, sticking with Monkey Moon. And it is going to be with Drawley, the up-and-coming rookie that I think suits his play style really well. You're talking Monkey Moon is a positional mastermind. He always has 40 boost. He's always able to challenge and be one step ahead. And a lot of that is going to be due to the fact that he's going to have Drawley on this team. I think with Drawley, very aggressive, creates a lot of opportunities, a lot of challenges, and then Exotic is going to be there to back it up. So what surprised me the most in this announcement, because this one's been rumored for a while, is the fact that Cassio, no longer a player and is now a coach. And I love Cassio. Part of that unfortunate team that put us through one of the most boring series ever. I've talked to Cassio about this as well on my stream during watch parties and stuff where he's joined us, where the play style that they came through with God, what is that team? It was Renegades versus God, what was the team? Season 8. Veloce, thank you. One of the most boring rosters I've ever seen. Very counterattack heavy, very defensive, and they just preyed on like, hey, you overcommit, we scored a goal. It's effective, but never enough to win the whole shebang. So again, seeing Casio kind of evolve through his career and now become a coach, I think is a really good fit for him. Really smart guy, really level-headed. I think probably going to be one of my favorite like pro to coach paths that I get to watch outside of like Farah and now Fairy Peak as well with Vitality. So pretty cool stuff there. Talking about that flip and spin though, looking at some of the results, we did see a iteration of Moist, which was very weird. A lot of people are seeing this one to be expected with Extra and a Chronic or something, but they had Oli and Rezi, which was interesting to see. They do have a pretty tough fight against that Oxygen roster. So again, the new Oxygen roster, this is locked. This is officially confirmed. This is going to be what they're going for. For them to take a loss already against a ragtag team, I don't think you look too much into it because there is a lot of potential in there. We're just kind of waiting for when Ixo's peak or his peak is shown more consistently, because right now his floor definitely has some big contrast to it. So Oxygen taking a loss there. Vitality against Top Cougars, which actually I think is a team that should stick. Toxic related wing Acro looked really dang solid. So 4-1 does not tell the story. You're talking again a bunch of 1-goal games in here, some OTs. Like, they put up a pretty good fight. The biggest one that everybody was paying attention to is the BDS Magnifico one. If you guys don't know Magnifico, that's the Atomic, Stizzy, and Tox roster that is confirmed as well. But going to 7, this one was a fight. It's one of my favorite series of the tournament. It was super exciting to watch in the playoffs. And then K Corp against Mediterranean boys, they got smacked. Razier's Lewis P and Sizen put up a decent fight, but this team is the real deal. This team I think everybody should be very afraid of. So glad to see them able to play. But now you get Golden Hornets, I think is their fan base, versus the Blue Wall on French soil. Hopefully we get to see the matchup. That's going to just be fun to watch, the LAN that goes down, because this is a LAN that's happening in Paris next weekend. So make sure you tune into that. We've got this weekend is the draw. So a lot of things going on. Next for NA roster stuff, we've been talking about, hey, what's going on with AJ and Jorias if they are going to M80? If that's the case, who's their third going to be? There has been a lot of rumors of what the potential third might be, and because of Space Station opening things back up and some of the other movement, it's wild to hear that there has been international talent pretty much heavily sought after as their third. So in this case, they're talking about Nas. That is a full-blown European, international, whatever. The thing to keep in mind is this team would still compete in NA. AJ is not moving from NA. M80 is still operating in NA. But it seems like they are targeting everyone. My curiosity is for Marco and the guys over at M80. How much money are you spending, and what are you going to get out of it? Because there's no salary caps, but like this is bonkers. I don't understand how much money they're willing to spend and get people. Maybe those salaries aren't as much as they used to be, but to get buyouts and everything else going too, I don't know, man. I'm very interested to see how this one ends up turning out. But again, current rumor might be tryouts, not official just yet. Something to keep our eyes on. The big one that everybody's been talking about though, as of finalized, is NRG. What's going on with Justin? Who's Garrett building with? What's the plans? Some things for sure. If I had to guess, this one is officially locked in. I don't think this one's a rumor at all. I'm pretty keen that Fireburner is going to be coaching NRG. He's going back. He's back to his old home. V1's no longer a thing. Sathu's pretty locked in with G2, so Fireburner's going to find a new home. And why not team back up with the boy in Garrett G? So I assume Fireburner is official as coach for NRG. I wouldn't be surprised if that's locked in, ready to go. But the big focus is on Frosty. Who the heck is he? Who is this 15-year-old kid? If you want to see footage and gameplay, Frosty did play with, I think, Com and Nolly in a tournament, Bandits on Wheels, like a week or two ago. So you can go check out the VODs for that and see what that has been up to and what that looks like. But Frosty, a 15-year-old fresh out the block. Not too many people are aware. Quick ascension in 6-mans. Very talented young kid. You're talking kind of the hot commodities with RS finally coming up. Frosty, you're going to have Scribbles here soon. You're going to have Life, if Life decides to stick with it. The Switch Lite kid that came over to now PC. Some opportunities that are growing in NA, which is needed because we definitely need some more depth with new up-and-coming talent. So while there is a massive shuffling in the conversation of not a single roster staying the same in NA is happening, it is good to see some of these new names come up through the ranked leaderboards that people are starting to target and try to give an opportunity to, which is good. At the end of the day, it's just tryouts. No guarantee on anything is locking. Anything that comes from Shift, keep in mind, can be wrong. There could be a contract negotiation that falls short. There could be something that just doesn't pay off. Like, you just never know. Sometimes there's other things that happen. Some people want to hold out for bigger contracts and salaries. That all goes down. Also, alongside that, they're trying to figure out who their third is going to be. The article does state more, and it looks like conversations around Chicago, Mist, and Aris, potentially Cheese as well. Cheese has definitely been getting a lot of credit in these passing months. A lot of love being given to Cheese. So I expect him to find some pretty good opportunities moving forward. But again, if I had to pick any of them, I would assume it's probably Chicago, but we'll see how it plays out. And last but not least, don't forget, I do have a roster document. We update this live. Stop over by the channel, twitch.tv/Lawler, type !RLCS rosters. This document will pop up. It'll give you all the details. It'll tell everything you need to know. Also, people in chat know the answer. Sub to the channel. But with that said, if you guys do have any additional questions, comments, concerns, stop by the stream. We're going to be busy over the next couple of weeks with covering qualifiers and stuff. We've got Salt Mine 3 today. We've got the Draw 7, I think it is, coming up on this weekend. So a lot of tournaments, a lot of stuff, a lot of conversations and early previews. If you'd like me to export some of those VODs, let me know in the comments down below. But additional questions, comments, concerns, hit me up, and I'll do what I can to answer them, especially if you guys come over to the stream. But that said, like, subscribe, notifications. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.